In this very moment, you are using the most complex artifact in the universe, and that is your brain. It contains 86 billion neurons. So it's no surprise that we have about 6,000 thoughts a day. No wonder we can't get any peace and quiet in our minds. Imagine sitting down in a movie theater, but rather than seeing a movie, you see your own thoughts on the screen. Every single thought you think appears on the screen. Or imagine writing down every single thought that you think. Wouldn't this make you more aware of your thoughts? Your conscious mind would become a lot more perceptive of your everyday thoughts in the way that you think, how you think. Through meditation, everything becomes a lot clearer in one's mind. The mind is a lot like the ocean, constantly changing shape or form. There's a lot of turbulence at the top, but beneath the surface it is calm and quiet. And this is what you can achieve through meditating. A calm and quiet mind below the surface of a huge storm.
Can have many purposes and fill many different roles for people depending on what they're seeking. But I think at its core, it can help people do a small handful of things really well, regardless of what they're coming to meditation for. When you think about meditation, you think about somebody sitting calmly, quietly, legs crossed, maybe focusing on their breath, or sometimes it can be focusing on the sunshine, feeling on your skin, or trying to focus on nothing at all. And oftentimes, if you try and sit down for a few minutes and do that yourself, you have thoughts running through your head, boop, 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 running through your head. And that can be distracting for many people. And they're like, well, clearly I'm bad at meditating. And I mean, to an extent, sure, whatever. Maybe you're not like fulfilling that idea of somebody sitting with a quiet thought or no thoughts in their head or just thinking about their breath and feeling their breath. But in reality, I think for majority of people, the majority of the time when they're trying to meditate, that's not the case. And I think having somewhat of a goal is helpful because it creates something that people try to do while meditating. You realize that you're not really good at getting there because you have all of these thoughts running through your head. You start to now see your thoughts. And when I think about seeing something, that means I'm seeing something that is separate from me. So if I'm looking at a table, but I'm able to think about the table and look at it and move around it even maybe and look at it from different angles and understand how it works and what it's doing. And I think a lot of the time in our day and age, people don't spend a lot of time even with their thoughts and will take out their phone and look at distractions there. So when you spend time meditating and you spend time starting to see your thoughts constantly running through your head, eventually you start to see patterns in your thinking and you start to understand yourself because you try not to judge those thoughts. You allow them to come and you allow them to go. You don't cling to them and try and hold them really tightly or run from them either. When people start to spend a lot of time with their thoughts and start to see them a little bit more objectively, and then can start to understand themselves and also be less harsh on themselves.
Meditation has been a huge part of my life. It helps me enjoy and embrace the beauty of silence. It's like sitting by a river and watching the water just pass, or looking at the sky and observing clouds. I become more observant of the environment around me and my breath. Meditation helps me approach life and problems from a fresh perspective. I see meditation as getting in touch with your inner and true self. And making contact with it helps stabilize thoughts, emotions, and clarifies goals and help me find purpose in life. When I sit to meditate, I take note of my intention before I start. It is more about the acknowledgement and acceptance of feelings and emotions. Eventually, when thoughts do start to come in, I will let them be.
The first step to meditating is focusing on one thing. That can often be your breath, or something that you hear, or something that you see or smell. Using your senses, you can ground yourself in the present moment. Meditation is like clearing your glasses. you can dial in and focus on what is in front of you, you can live in the present moment. But distractions often arise, and this is why it's important to anchor your mind onto something. Because you'll remember that email that you forgot to send, and your mind starts wandering. And this mind wandering happens to every single one of us. And so by going inward into your own mind, you gain meta-awareness. This means you become the observer. You are no longer an autopilot being observed obliviously by your own thoughts, allowing you to become aware of the constant chatter in your mind. And sometimes that is all we need.